talked in SEO terms that backlinks are the number one key to ranking. Now, backlinks are a huge importance, but other than a site being in penalty, the number one overlooked factor in SEO is the on-page and content process. Almost by stealth mode, content has become as important, if not more so, than backlinks when it comes to ranking on Google. Now, I'm sure you'll be aware that the internet is changing at an alarming rate. And that means that the way we respond to those changes may affect whether we rank on Google or not. The changes are not just about algorithm updates and penalties, but about emerging technologies. Some of the world's most advanced technologies are working together with Google to achieve a level of sophistication in a way that is actually quite remarkable. We know the kind of technology that Google has and the level to which it can process by Google's own patents. In fact, I'm going to discuss one of these patents right now so that you can understand and appreciate the importance that content plays in the ranking of your web page. The patent that we'll be considering is Google's phrase-based indexing information retrieval system. You can see a link under this video if you want to study it. The document is really hard to understand, and I'm going to simplify a few sections in the first part of this video. The diagram that you see right now has been taken from Google's patent from the link below the video. Let me give you a simple overview of what Google's technology is doing. The circle on the right is your web page. Google is scanning your page and carrying out a massive analysis. When their spiders crawl your page, they are collecting possible and good phrases and analyzing other statistics about your content. At the same time, they are classifying and sorting the good phrases and the bad phrases. Now, I won't go into detail about bad phrases, but to save a lot of tickets coming in, bad phrases do not count against you in any way. They are just not factored by Google. Google only factors good phrases. Then Google applies what it calls information gain process, where it looks for the presence of associated words or phrases that it expects to see when measured against the good phrases it has identified. And Google then stores its collected data ready to apply to other data that will come in at a later time. Things such as other documents or backlinks on the internet that might be pointing to that web page. Now that's it in a nutshell. So let me show you a bit more detail. Here's an example text that Google shows us on their patent. Let's assume this is your web page. Google assesses that page and sees a bunch of words and phrases. In this instance, Google can quickly determine some related phrases, and they have boxed those phrases, as you can see. Google has seen the word Australian Shepherd, and it knows what words may be associated with this phrase, and it looks for those on the page. In fact, it does this with all the phrases to assess the value of your content. So here is the order. Firstly, Google identifies related phrases by using high information gain. It identifies clusters of related phrases in your content using high information gain. Google then stores the data ready to respond to a search query. Then we go on to the searcher. They enter their search and Google identifies the phrase in their query. Google identifies relevant documents or pages, web pages, on the analysis it did on your page. Now this is key. Google identifies relevant documents based on the analysis it did on your page. Now take a look at the next box. Google ranks documents, they mean web pages, based on related phrases. More alarm bells ringing now. Google are telling us in their patents that they are ranking a web page based on related phrases it has found on your page. Remember what I said about the Australian Shepherd document. Google assessed your page, it identified the related phrases. In this document, you can see the related phrases. Now, if those related phrases that Google is expecting to see aren't there, Google will know that your page is not that relevant or valuable to the searcher's query. Google Hummingbird was coded to determine what Google thought the searcher was trying to find out when they entered their search query. Google assesses using their patented formula. The use of latent semantic keywords and phrases are now of huge importance. If you want to get a head start against your competition, you need to take hold of this next slide. Add as much content as you can and insert as many related phrases. Okay, now we can see exactly what Google has done. They have put into place a technology that is so advanced it is intuitive with what it thinks the searcher is looking for. What I mean is, Google knows what the searcher is looking for more than we do. They have technology that calculates this, and they have spent huge sums of money creating a brand new ranking algorithm, Hummingbird to work together with this phrase-based indexing information retrieval system. What is really good about this is that Google has told us the secret to their on-page ranking process. So all we need to do is to discover the best way to find the associated relevant phrases that Google is looking for, so they can assess our web pages. You see, once we have optimized to this level, we will in effect have positioned our site ready for ranking. This will make any other SEO activity we do, like backlinking and social signals, many more times effective. You see, the entire SEO process can be assigned to a mathematical equation, which is this. Google rank position equals on-page optimization factor multiplied by the backlinks factor multiplied by the social factor. Now this is an oversimplified process of that which Google uses to assess ranking position, but I'm on the right lines here. The web page that meets a rank score closest to 1 achieves the number 1 spot on Google for the search query. Let's do an example and show an average optimized web page. Let's assume that our on-page score is 0.4, but we have done better with both our backlink and social signal score. We can calculate this, and we can now see that we have a Google rank score of 0.168. And remember, in this oversimplified example of how Google ranks, the page with a score closest to 1 ranks on the number 1 position in Google. Now, to emphasize the importance of on-page, let's assume that we have achieved perfection with our on-page content in Google's eyes, with the same backlink and social factors. We can see that we have increased our rank score drastically, and our rank position would be much better whilst doing no extra backlinking or social signals. Let's further emphasize the importance of perfect on-page and assume that we have an average on-page score but amazing backlinks and social links signals. We can do our calculation and see that with all the extra backlinking and social signals efforts, our ranking score is actually lower than it was with our previous example, which involved a lot less work. Hopefully we've determined the importance of on-page optimized content and what Google is looking for with the related phrases. So where can we find those related phrases? Well, the first place that we can look for our phrases is Wikipedia. Well, Google actually, but Wikipedia mentioned in the search. Let's use the main phrase that Google used in their patent, Australian Shepherd. So we will put that in quotes, Australian Shepherd, followed by Wikipedia, like this. Now, in Google's example of related phrases, according to their patent example, would expect to see for this page they listed the following keywords: Aussie, Blue Mill, Red Mill, Tricolour, Agility Training. Now this is just an example from Google's patents, so it's not a complete list, but let's see if we can find these and more on the Wikipedia page. I've opened up this page in separate tabs and have highlighted the phrases in each search. You can see the 5 search phrases highlighted in yellow. So you can see that Wikipedia can be a relevant source of good phrases. If we now look or take a further look on the page, you can see a whole load of other highly related phrases that I can incorporate into my content. I've highlighted these words and phrases in red, as you can see. Now we have these words: breed of dog, Australia, rescue dogs, disaster dogs, detection dogs, guide dogs, service dogs, therapy dogs, little blue dog, medium-sized breed, ASCA, bicolour, bi, solid merle, merle allele, bicolour black-white, Velcro dogs, stock dogs, shepherds, double merle, miniature Australian shepherd. Now that's not a bad set of phrases. So now we have our source for words. We can compose our content. Ideally, you would have 2,000 words, for example, on your page or thereabouts. The purpose of this will be so that you can create very readable, keyword-rich paragraphs that include as many of your relevant phrases as possible, because that will make your page super relevant not only to the main search phrase, but it will increase the visibility of the page tremendously, which will result in attracting a lot more traffic, which is what you need to make your page work for your purposes. Now you have your source for your keywords, so you are ready to compose your content. Ideally, you'll have between 1,000 and 1,500 words, but I'm aware that this may make your page appear very long. Therefore, what you should try to do is set your most valuable content at the very top of the page and the rest of the content beneath that. Have a look at this page. See, I've got my main money information right at the top. I even have a buy button visible right here at the top. Now if I scroll down, you can see that I have my expert content that is going to help me position my page to rank. This is such an important exercise to get right. If you do get it right, it will cut down your expensive side of SEO considerably. This has been a very important training on content. So now let's go on to the next video and let's have a look further at on-page information.